There is an ancient paradox that has haunted the most brilliant minds of history. Your intelligence is a weapon that is currently turned against you. Look at your life. If you are watching this, you are likely someone who has been told they have high potential. You are analytical, observant, and capable of seeing patterns where others see only chaos. Yet, despite this mental agility, you find yourself trapped. You wake up with a heavy, restless fog in your chest. You spend your days simulating every possible disaster, overanalyzing every conversation, and paralyzing yourself before you even begin. You think of your active mind as an asset, but in the modern era it has become a cage. Modern psychological studies confirm what is known as the intelligence-anxiety paradox. Individuals with higher cognitive capacity are statistically far more prone to chronic anxiety, existential dread, and deep life dissatisfaction. Your sharp mind has been beautifully polished to solve complex problems, but because there are no immediate physical threats in your comfortable modern life, that weapon has turned inward. It is slicing through the peace of your present moment, desperately searching the horizon for problems that do not yet exist today. We will dismantle the curse of the restless intellect. Using the rigorous logic of the Roman Stoic Seneca and the practical discipline of the ancient stonemasons, we will explore the 5 architectures of the mind. We will understand why your mental agility is fueling your suffering and how to transform a restless, paralyzed intellect into a tool for grounded, present action. This is not a message of motivation. It is a blueprint for the architecture of your soul. 2,000 years ago, the Roman philosopher Seneca observed a fundamental truth about human suffering while watching wild animals. Wild beasts, Seneca wrote, run from the dangers they see, and once they have escaped, they are free from anxiety. Think about a wild horse. It feels the pain of the whip only when it strikes. It does not worry about the whip yesterday, and it does not fear the whip tomorrow. Once the threat is gone, the horse returns to grazing in the grass, completely present. Its suffering is locked strictly in the moment of physical contact. But humans possess the curse of foresight. Our unique gift, our high intelligence allows us to do something no animal can do. We project ourselves into the future. We remember the whip from years ago, and we predict the whip for years to come. We suffer before the pain arrives, and we continue to suffer long after it has gone. As Seneca famously noted, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. For the highly intelligent individual, this foresight is a double-edged sword. Your mind is incredibly fast. It can calculate 30 different outcomes of a single conversation in a split second. But because your brain is addicted to solving problems, it will actively invent problems just to have something to do. You are not suffering because you are weak. You are suffering because your mind is too fast for the quiet life you are living. You are using your intellect to build the very walls that keep you trapped. To understand how this plays out in reality, we must return to the story of Julian. Julian was 26 years old, possessed a sharp mind, and was deeply unhappy. He was a man who could analyze any business strategy, learn a language in months, and see the flaws in any plan. Yet his life was a monument to half-finished ideas. One Saturday morning, Julian walked into the stonemason's yard. He found Lucian, the elderly master, carving a heavy marble block. The yard was silent, save for the rhythmic tink, tink, tink of Lucian's chisel. Julian set his notebook on the workbench. It was filled with dozens of pages of neat, complex diagrams. I've spent the last 4 days analyzing the business model for my new project, Julian said, his voice tense with exhaustion. I've mapped out the potential market shifts, the competitor reactions, the risk of financial failure, and the probability of rejection. Lucian did not stop his chisel. And how many stones have you laid? None, Julian admitted. The risks are too high. Every time I think of starting, my mind builds a hyper-realistic simulation of how it will fail. I can feel the embarrassment of failure before I even write the first line. It feels so real that my body physically tenses up. I feel sick. Lucian stopped. He blew the white marble dust off the stone and looked at Julian. You are an architect, Julian, the old man said calmly, but you do not build temples. You build imaginary ruins. You use your high intelligence to construct disasters that have not happened, and then you sit in the rubble and weep. What Lucian was describing is a biological trap. Evolutionarily, our ancestors survived because they could predict danger. The hunter, who could simulate a tiger hiding in the bushes, lived to see another day. Foresight, was a survival mechanism. But in the modern world, we no longer fight tigers. We fight social rejection, career uncertainty, and financial stability. Because these threats are abstract and ongoing, your intelligent brain treats them as permanent. It builds hyper-realistic mental simulations of failure. Your brain does not know the difference between a real crisis and an imagined one. When you simulate failure, your amygdala releases the exact same stress hormones as if you were actually failing. You are living in a permanent state of emotional trauma, generated entirely by your own intellect. Julian leaned against the workbench, his head in his hands. How do I stop it? If I don't think ahead, I'm acting blindly. But if I do think ahead, I am paralyzed. Lucian picked up a rough piece of sandstone. The Romans understood this war. We practiced Premeditatio Malorum, the premeditation of evils. But you're practicing it incorrectly. How? Julian asked. I'm imagining the bad things so I can prepare. No, Lucian said. You're imagining the bad things to justify your cowardice. There is a difference. Lucian explained that Premeditatio Malorum is not designed to create anxiety, it is designed to destroy it. The Stoics used it to strip the mystery away from the future. When you worry, Lucian said, your mind asks, what if? And leaves the question open, what if I fail? What if they laugh at me? The intelligent mind leaves these questions hanging in the air, creating a permanent fog of dread. Premeditatio Malorum requires you to answer the question. Lucian told Julian to look at his worst-case scenario. If you start this project and it fails completely, what is the objective reality of that failure? Will you starve? Will you die? No, Julian muttered. I'd just have to find another job. I'd lose some money. Then the monster you built in your head is nothing but a shadow. Lucian said, you have allowed your intelligence to make the future look like an insurmountable wall. But when you look at it logically, it is merely a step. This is the Roman distinction between things within your control, e.h. hemin, and things outside your control, uk.f. hemin. Your intelligence is currently wasting its massive energy, trying to control the uncontrollable, the opinions of others, the state of the market, the unpredictable future. Seneca's remedy is to forcibly pull that energy back. You must dismantle the what-if loop by demanding concrete logical answers to your fears and then returning your focus to the single stone in front of you. But my mind won't stop, Julian said. It feels like an engine that runs on its own. I can't turn the thinking off. Lucian pointed to a massive pile of rough, uncarved granite blocks in the corner of the yard. That is because you suffer from the intellectual's greatest disease, Lucian said. You believe that you can solve the problems of overthinking by thinking more. Julian stared at him. Isn't that how you solve problems? You cannot put out a fire with dry wood, Julian, Lucian said. When you overthink, your mind is on fire. Trying to analyze your way out of anxiety only feeds the flames. You're trying to use the very tool that caused the disease to cure it. The Stoics called this the intellectual ego. It is the false belief that if we just calculate enough, if we just worry enough, we can control the universe. Lucian handed Julian a heavy iron hammer. Foresight is a projection, it is a ghost. Presence is the only reality. You must convert your foresight into presence. You do this not by thinking, but by exerting force on the physical world. He pointed to a rough stone block. I want you to split this block in half. You cannot do it by calculating the angles in your head. You must feel the weight of the hammer. You must listen to the sound of the iron. If your mind wanders to the future for even a second, the chisel will slip and you will break your fingers. Julian took the hammer. He placed the chisel on the stone. At first his mind tried to run. It tried to think about his career, his failures, his mountain of worries. But the heavy iron in his hands demanded his absolute attention. The cold stone resisted him. With every strike, the physical feedback of the hammer forced his mind back into his body. The noise in his head began to fade, replaced by the singular, heavy reality of the work. He was no longer a spectator of his own anxious thoughts. He was an active participant in his immediate environment. He was reducing his cognitive load by simplifying his entire universe down to a single point, the tip of the chisel. 6 months later, Julian was standing in the workshop. He had not quit his job, but he had stopped letting it consume him. He had finally launched his side project. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. It existed in the physical world, not just in the pages of his notebook. He looked at Lucian, his face calmer, his eyes grounded. "I used to think my intelligence was a curse," Julian said. "I thought being smart meant I was destined to be anxious." Lucian smiled, a rare warmth in his eyes. "Your intelligence is not a curse, Julian. It is a highly calibrated tool. But like any tool, if you do not master it, it will master you." Lucian explained the daily practice of mental hygiene. The Roman commanders did not keep their swords unsheathed all day. They kept them clean, oiled, and in the scabbard until the moment of battle. "Your intellect is a weapon," Lucian said. "Keep it in the scabbard of silence. Do not use it to fight imaginary wars in the future. Save its edge for the work that is right in front of you. When you reframe your intelligence not as a source of misery, but as a calibrated tool, everything changes. You stop building imaginary ruins, you start building temples. You transition from a restless, suffering intellect to a state of stoic tranquility, where your mind is sharp, but your soul is still. Identity is not the thoughts that swirl in your head, it is the actions you consistently take. Look at your own life today. Your overthinking is not a sign of wisdom, it is a sign of an untrained mind. Your intelligence is waiting for you to give it a heavy, meaningful task. What imaginary ruin will you stop building today? What physical stone will you finally choose to carve? This lesson touched the restless corners of your mind. You are not alone. You have found your legion. Comment below. Are you an architect of imaginary ruins? Or are you ready to become a builder of reality? Which of Seneca's lessons made the most sense to you today? Subscribe to Ancient Presence for weekly blueprints on Stoic wisdom, mental resilience, and the architecture of the soul. Stand as stone. Rule your mind. Find your presence. I will see you in the next video.